Welcome everyone to the second channel of the Super Boob Tube Dudes podcast. I am Dante and my co-host is.
Tyler Hoskin. Hello,
All
folks.
right. Hello, Tyler. What's going on?
Oh, not much, not much. Just chilling. I'm excited to talk about this week in
Yeah.
TV.
How was your
Really,
how's your Sunday or your weekend so far?
my weekend's been pretty good, fairly calm. But been doing a few things on the page on our superboobtubedudes.com. I've added a contact page, so now you can go to superboobtubedudes.com/contact, fill out the form, and it'll send us an email.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know
How
you did that. That's
how
pretty
awesome
cool.
is that? I just did it today, so
Oh, nice. Now, do you work Monday or
yes,
are you off?
I'm one of these Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 folks.
Yeah, yeah. I know I used to be that, and then I'm kind of I have my I had to work 6 days this week, so
Oh,
I
gross.
finally have my Monday. Well, because we had snow and everything, or we were
Oh
supposed to.
yeah,
They were
right.
projected to have like a whole bunch of snow last Saturday, and so they canceled work for me. So
Well, that's
I
not
got
bad.
I had I got the day off, but it means that I had to work Monday to Saturday this week.
Ah, yes, fair
So
enough.
now I have my Monday back, thank God, and I am pretty busy tomorrow. I have so many appointments,
Nice,
like all my like medical, dental, and eye, and I have like everything that I need to do is
yeah,
just like perfect for Monday. So
nice.
it's kind of nice.
Except it's gonna be really busy.
Yeah, yeah, but it's okay.
Nice,
I think I'll bring my iPad and get a lot of reading done. Because
perfect.
I used to be in the military. I don't know if you knew that.
I did.
Yeah, I was in the Navy. Funny story. Well, I guess it's not really that funny, but you know the Captain Phillips story.
I do.
I was actually on the ship
Oh, cool.
that that the what are they the Navy SEALs brought him on after they blew away the pirates.
Ah, crazy. Right on.
Yeah, yeah, I was a baker on that ship, and I actually made cookies for Captain Phillips. So
Right on. Right on. So you were almost in that movie.
yeah, sort of. Yeah, yeah. And it's a funny thing, I've never seen the movie,
You know what? Neither have I.
but I lived it. I don't need to see it.
There you go. You don't. You don't. Yeah, you know the story. It's all good.
Yeah,
You lived that story. It's right
yeah.
on.
So anyway, that's kind of what's going on with me now. I got lots of stuff going on Monday, but I guess we can let's get in on this show. We have a new format for everyone, or for us basically, and for everyone listening.
Yes.
Um, we're just kind of going to go through it. There's kind of not really any way to kind of list off what we're doing, but just to kind of say what's up. We're going to talk about what stuff we may have missed this week, and then we'll go into like a rapid fire show review. Just real quick with the super shows that have been on this week, and just kind of say our quick little pieces on that. Then we're going to do a show review today on the latest episode, which is the second episode of DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Um, and after that, we'll go into what other TV shows you might be watching other than the super stuff, just to kind of to get into like other TV news and other TV stuff like that. And uh, we would do like emails and other social media and stuff. We'll do that as we get more listeners and everything. And if anybody wants to shoot us any emails, or we can do shout outs for other shows and things like that for you guys listening. But that might take a couple weeks, a couple episodes, is just to kind of because we're new and everything. So we'll get through all that stuff once it comes in. Then we're gonna go into some other TV news. So we'll do like upcoming show news and like new castings, any new show talk, kind of like how I guess what was the show that the Titans show that was supposed to happen for TNT. I guess that's some show news that that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
We'll go into some rumors and cameos and other Easter eggs and things like that. And after that, we'll do what I'm calling. I mean, we can always change it, but I'm calling Pixel Picks of the Weeks. Trying to keep the TV theme,
Yep.
and we're gonna choose our best picks of the week. Of these certain categories that I have listed out here. We're going to pick our best fight of the week. We're gonna do the most heroic character of the week, the baddest ass villain of the week, um, biggest feel of the week, which is like the
Get you
most
right in the
emotional
feels.
moment, huh?
Get you right in the feels.
Yeah, yeah, hit you right in the feels. The biggest emotional moment of the week, coolest use of powers and abilities of the week, most WTF cliffhanger or ending of the week, and that may not always happen, but it's there if it happens because there's some kind of like what the f.
Yeah, sometimes there are the holy shit, what the fuck.
Exactly,
I need
yeah.
to see the next episode right now.
Right, right. I was like, why do we have to wait a week? We got two left: the strongest overall show of the week, and then the coolest Easter egg. And after that, we'll just kind of, see what else is going on. What we're else maybe we might be reading, comic wise or book wise or anything like that. Just kind of little tiny stuff that may not be TV related, but just stuff we're kind of just into and checking out right now when we have the time. And we'll do plugs and social media, and then we'll close the episode. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing from now on. And things may change. Nothing's set in stone. Obviously, the
Yeah.
listeners, you're more than welcome to give us your feedback and everything through the social media, our Twitter and our Facebook, and we'll give all those links and tags and everything at the end of the show.
Yes, yes, I
So
will.
let's go ahead and get into what we may have missed this week. Did we watch everything? I think I watched all the super shows this week. How about you,
Yeah,
Tyler?
I watched all the super shows this week as well. All the
Okay,
Supergirl, Agent Carter, Flash,
right.
Arrow, Legends. That's
That
that's
was
uh
it, right?
that's all I watched.
Okay.
Super show wise. I think
Yeah.
that's all that's going on right now.
hmm Within
Uh,
like the DC and Marvel type
yeah,
realm, I guess, of TV. I mean, I guess like the show I mentioned last week, Lucky Man. I suppose you can count that as a super show,
right.
but I don't. I didn't watch this week's episode yet. It happens on Friday, or it's a Friday show, just like this other show called that I'm really liking that actually might be a super show, but it doesn't really label itself as that, called Second Chance. Um, it's actually interesting. It's really interesting, and the guy kind of has like a super strength sort of power. So, but I mean, it's not very like comic booky sort of TV show. So I guess it doesn't really count. Where Lucky Man might, because it's Stan Lee's show.
Right.
So yeah, I watched everything. Those it was like those five shows that we watched. And let's start with Supergirl. What do you think of Supergirl this week?
I really like Supergirl this week. It was nice to see a different take on the show rather than it just being like a metahuman or
Right.
or Supergirl's aunt coming back and doing another
Right.
another
Right.
thing. It was nice to see uh, a different take, a different like the Martian coming into it, the White Martian. That was pretty cool. So
Yeah, and then
uh,
the whole thing with Martian Manhunter, like that was
yeah,
pretty heavy stuff. I mean,
that
that
was
show really contended. I mean, if we're going to like the picks of the week kind of stuff, it really contended with my overall show of the week, like
yeah,
that and Legends of Tomorrow. Um, they were like neck and neck because that was a really really good episode
yeah, it was.
of Supergirl. I mean, the emotion alone with him and his family, Martian Manhunter's family, and
Yeah, and
and
just
all that backstory was just it was really good. I mean, obviously the CG and stuff is never moving, top notch or anything like that. But I
no,
mean, just
but
the story and the writing of that episode
yeah,
itself
exactly.
was really well done. And I really like how it really tied into how they kind of did his origin in the animated series of Justice League.
Right.
It was really it was like almost spot on the way they did it in Justice League. I really like that. What else was going on? Talk about Agent Carter. It wasn't it
So
wasn't my favorite episode at all.
no,
It felt so slow and so bad to me.
it felt like they could have taken what happened in this episode and put it into the end of the last episode.
Right.
Like sure we had that cliffhanger that the what was his name? Dr. Wells or Willis or
something like that. Yeah,
something like
Wells
I,
is Flash, but I can't
yeah,
remember the guy's name
it
either.
started with a W, I'm pretty sure.
Hmm.
But having him
He
like
was like a hologramish, like
yeah, like he
a
was still
sound guy, or
he
it
was
was really
still
weird.
there, but he wasn't there, and
Hmm.
Stark was bringing him back, and it was just I feel like this was just kind of a filler episode.
Yeah,
Like they needed to
I could barely remember
they
it.
yeah they needed to get to that 22 or 23 episode or whatever it is. They needed that extra episode, you know? They needed that
Hmm.
13th or whatever episode, however many they're doing this season.
No, no,
And
they're only. I think it's only 8 episodes,
so
like last time.
they needed that eighth episode, right? So
I guess, yeah.
they had 7 written, and they're like, okay, we need one more.
Yeah, it
But
was very, very drawn out, and like I said, I was not impressed. I mean, I really liked the way they did the first two, um, but it just it felt it just I don't know, it just didn't hit for me.
yeah,
I wasn't very enamored
yeah,
by how they set that up with the doctor, and it really could have been like half the episode, and then got into something deeper with the new Hydra and stuff like that.
yeah, exactly. They could have done so much more, but uh, like it gave us Tony Stark was back, not Tony, his dad.
Right, right, right.
Um,
Howard Stark, yeah.
Howard Stark. He's back, which is nice. I think it was a nice introduction for him for a reason for him to get back into things because they needed
Yeah,
that
he's got
sciency part.
some. Yeah, he's got some like movie studio now or something.
Yeah, he's producing these directing movies or some
Mhm.
shit.
It's weird. Like I when they
Eh,
first talked about it, I guess in the second episode, like they mentioned him and mentioned the whole like he's in the cinema or something.
yeah, and I honestly thought that was just a way to say he's not gonna be back this season,
Mm.
right? And I thought it was just like, okay, we're just making up this story so because we didn't actually have him on this season, but clearly that's a lie.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured he'd be back. I just wasn't sure how. It was a very interesting way to get him back. But I mean, they
Yeah.
need his tech, and
Oh, for sure.
I understand.
He's a crucial part to all of this,
Yeah,
really. Like so, but
it was just a very poor episode in my opinion.
yeah.
What was after that?
We had the Flash.
Tuesday is the Flash,
Yeah,
right?
Flash was next.
Hmm.
This was an interesting episode. Like for me, it would have been our cliffhanger of the week for last week would have been the
Yeah.
Flash
Hmm.
going, okay, Earbard's back. What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Sorry, how did he come back? What is going on? And then they explain it timeline wise, and it all kind of made sense.
Yeah, they kind of get around, anything super complicated,
Yeah.
but it still makes sense. I liked it a lot. What exactly? I'm trying to remember now. How exactly did they say they brought him back? It was like a time shift of some sort. It was some
Yeah.
technical term that Wells said, that was like, oh, here's this new word we can use, and this is what it means.
Yeah, basically. So, in layman's terms, what happened was this is the start of Eobard's timeline, right?
Right,
So,
right, right. This
because
isn't the one that went
the
back and changed his face to Wells and
exactly this
everything.
is
Not
before
yet,
that,
anyway.
right? So, in that timeline, this is before that happened for him. So he's
Mm.
not dead yet,
Right.
right? That's what makes him come back because he knows
Right.
what time frame he's in, and he blah blah blah. So to
It was
keep
just it's just weird because now, I mean, now thinking about it, I'm trying to figure out how could this be the start if his start, the Eobard's start was when he went back 15 years ago and then took Wells's face,
right, but
and you know what I mean?
yeah, so his start now is gives him that okay, I need to go back in time to when Barry was a kid and kill his mother.
Oh, it's that far back.
It's that far back.
Oh, okay, so it's not the one where he gets stuck in time
No.
and has to change his face.
No.
So because this is way before
Exactly.
he knows that he has to go back and kill Barry because he hasn't found out his identity yet.
Right, because he
That's
doesn't
right.
know it's Barry, right?
Right.
At
He was like
point.
in the shadow, like Barry was in the shadow when they locked him up. I remember that. So he doesn't see his face and he doesn't know
Exactly.
who he is.
So he knows the timeline. He knows where to look for this Flash.
Mhm.
so he's gonna go back.
That he wasn't counting on them to catch him. That was the thing. He was just
Right.
hoping to get a glimpse of who he was to figure out and then go back, but he got caught instead.
Yeah, and with the whole them capturing him and not letting him go, and then Cisco fading in and out, and
Oh yeah, that
right.
was
So it's
great.
like, okay, we have to release him or else Cisco dies.
Yeah, as this catch 22, like what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Are we
What do
gonna
you
keep him
like?
here and let Cisco
What are you gonna
hopefully
do?
doesn't die or save
Exactly.
his ass?
Exactly. So,
Oh,
spoiler,
it was
spoiler.
a
They
strong
save him.
episode.
Yeah, I really liked that episode for sure. It was
Hmm.
a good one.
Oh, and then Patty too. That was sad
Yes,
too.
and yeah, Patty figured it out.
I liked it. I liked that she figured it out instead of being told because
Yeah.
everybody has been told who the Flash is.
Yes. Yeah.
And like it was a better way to handle that because he really didn't want to tell anybody anymore. And I mean, even if he was trying to keep her safe, she was still putting herself in harm's way by testing him and trying to get in there,
Exactly.
so it was kind of like she needed to find out just so she could know he was trying to protect her, even though he still didn't necessarily tell her.
Yeah. It's like,
with,
yes,
with
I am
all
the
the facts.
Flash, but I'm not going to tell you that I'm the Flash.
Right.
Right. So
And then he goes to like see her on the on the
on
train
the
at
train,
the
yeah.
end. Oh
So
man, it was
uh,
pretty sad. There was a lot of crying on her part in that
yeah,
episode.
I'm sure we're not. That is not the last time we're going to see her.
Oh God, no! Really hope not. I love her character in the comics. I don't know why
Yeah.
some people don't. I mean, I'm not really caught up on anything like that, but she was great from when she first appeared in the New 52 and everything.
Right.
And I like what they did. I'm really happy that they brought her in
Yeah.
into the show, even though she's such a brand new character to the comics. I mean, relatively 3 or 4 years old. Um, it's interesting. I'm digging her character and the relationship they've kind of built. It's good stuff.
Yeah. And yeah, she's coming back for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Then we have Arrow
Then we
after
have
that, right?
Arrow. Yeah. I really like this episode.
Refresh me on what was going on. I was doing so much I can't even remember.
So basically, um, they're going back and there's this new team, I guess, or like team of bad guys. So we're off the ghosts and dark at the moment. For the
Oh, right. And then this is the one with emo ghost what's her face?
Oh yeah,
Felicity.
Felicity, emo Felicity comes out
Yeah.
to play because she's all hopped up on drugs and she's seeing shit.
Yeah, then they're
With
like, oh, they put it in there like, oh, there's hallucinations with this drug, maybe, and it's like that's all she's seeing.
yeah, that's the only side effect that she's
Yeah,
got.
that was pretty funny to me. I'm like, what are the side effects? And she's only seeing,
It's only
she's only getting the
hallucinations,
hallucinations.
which I thought was pretty funny. And then like she overcame that and she's back in the team, which is nice.
Definitely.
But yeah, so there's this team from back when the Diggles, the brothers were together in the military back in the day.
That's right. That was some good flashback stuff. I,
That
I
was
really
some great
enjoyed them
flashback stuff.
working together
Yeah.
and trying to be good, even though they're on like that military team that's kind of taking money to be like mercenaries and stuff.
A little sketchy. So
Yeah.
that team comes back and there's an end game, right? There's always
Mm.
something else that they want to get done. So there's a distraction to get to what they wanted, and Diggle's brother was helping them do that.
Hmm.
So there's finally some trust between the brothers again.
Yeah. After all that, and then even with when they were like tricking everyone, and then his like wife wasn't in on the trick or on
Yeah,
the scam that they were doing,
yeah,
and she thought that the brother was like playing everybody, but that it was really like they made up this this plan, and it worked really well.
it worked really
Everyone was
well.
kind
Yeah,
of it was just them in on it. That was pretty cool.
yeah. No, it was definitely like it was probably one of my favorite episodes this week. It was really well done for me. Just how everything came together, all the little callbacks, all the little Easter eggs being thrown in there
Yeah,
was
with the,
kind of
the
cool.
Oracle stuff
Yeah,
and everything. That was pretty good. There was a lot of it was a big Felicity and Diggle episode. It was
yeah,
very very different for me because I mean I do like Diggle, but then sometimes that stuff and him and his wife, it's a little bit, too much for me in the sense that like I'd rather see more Arrow stuff and not more of them. But
Sure.
they did they wrote them and his brother very well for this episode,
Yeah, for sure.
which made it entertaining. I really like that. And then I guess we could just save the last one for the whole review. The
Yeah.
last show this week, which is Legends of Tomorrow, episode 2. Um, was fantastic.
Oh man.
Just absolutely fantastic. The
There
opening of it,
just so much
now
going
with
on.
yeah, I mean, just the opening with Rip Hunter explaining, like you didn't even have to see the first episode. He explained the opening so well,
Yeah.
and like, oh, my family was murdered by Vandal Savage, and I needed these heroes to help him, stop the evil that he's going to bring to the future, and they're legends. And this it was like perfect. It was a really really good opening little monologue he had.
I think that's
So
the CW's done that quite well with
mhm.
the opening sequences and just kind of giving you an explanation of what the show is in case
Yeah,
you have no freaking clue.
yeah. In case you've missed like 18
Yeah,
episodes.
just in case you have. Not that you
Yeah, I
should.
mean,
You should
even
go
with the
back and
Flash
watch
and
all of them.
Arrow, they get kind of old, but I mean, this is like the first time they've given
Yeah.
that opening. Oh, so it's not old yet, but we'll see how long we can
Yeah.
take the same
Yeah.
opening
Talk to
with
us in a
Legends of
couple
Tomorrow.
weeks and it'll be like, oh, come on.
Yeah, my name is Oliver Queen, and I've been on an island for five
Yeah, those
years.
memes are fucking amazing.
They're pretty good. The episode Legends of Tomorrow, it starts out like basically right after the first episode. Um,
Yeah.
Hawkman and Hawkgirl lost their son, but they gained information about Vandal Savage.
Yeah, and
The
they find
epilogue
out.
of the first episode,
Yeah.
they end up in Norway to try and stop him, and that's kind of where they start.
Yeah, start the ball rolling. Basically, they find this arms deal that's going down that he's supposed to be at, but they're not sure.
Yeah, yeah, and then they kind of they have like a card or something to get into this auction for this nuke or these other
Yeah,
weapons.
Captain Cold sneaks a card off a guy.
Yeah, but the best part was when uh, the professor he comes in and he just lays down the law with all this history that he knows
Yeah, pretty
about like
funny.
Norway and about this arms deal because he I don't know he knows I don't know how but he has all this information he knows from the past. I mean, for reading books or just studying all
Well,
this.
and living in that time because we
Well,
see
that's
his
true. That's
younger
true.
self
Yeah.
in this episode later, and
Hmm.
he's already has a couple PhDs, so he's
Yeah.
already well educated.
Yeah, he knows what happened, in his time while he was in
Exactly.
college, abroad and governments and conspiracy things like that, which is this is pretty cool. So he gets them all in, and they kind of crash the party basically.
They kind of
At
crash the
first, I
party, and
thought this scene, the fight scene in here when they basically get caught by Vandal. They think he's trying to buy the weapons, but then
no.
there's like, no, he's selling all the weapons.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And yeah, I thought this fight was gonna be my favorite fight of the week until the end fight.
This was a good fight. The end fight was way better.
Oh yeah, I couldn't believe. I mean, the teamwork they use, even with like the atom flying around all small, and the fire and the ice and
Yeah,
the hawk people just punching everybody
it
and
was it
using their
was
mace.
it was almost Avengers like.
It was very. It's like the Justice League. It's just this like
Yeah,
mini secret small Justice League team that is just kicking so much ass, and I I like how they're making Adam like he's not as small as an Adam because like so they don't kind of cheat you out of seeing him when he's
yeah,
small.
yeah, yeah.
And they also don't have to work too much CG because then that would be really, really too small, and then they have to make everything really big. So like they make him look like a little action
Yeah,
figure.
I love that. His little suit. It was like,
Yeah.
don't forget any parts this time. That was a hilarious line.
Yeah, it was like a 3.75 inch little figure.
Yeah.
I
And it
thought
was
that was
literally
pretty
like
good.
it's literally an action figure.
Yeah, yeah, it was like it was like this. I got this at Target or something.
Exactly.
But that's pretty good because he like flies around at like a 3 inch size, and you actually
Yeah.
see it. It looks good. Like he's bouncing off this and that, and punching people, and growing, growing big to knock some bad guy's ass out.
Yeah. Very
Uh,
funny.
yeah, and I love how this show is so geared toward the two Hawkman and Hawkgirl. Um, I mean, because they're the closest heroes to the villain, so
Right.
they seem more, even though it's weird because they've never been this important in any medium. I mean, even in the little bit that Hawkman had in Smallville, and that was just like kind of like a tease and everything. But I mean, they are like the stars of this show. Um, Maybe action wise, I think, and story driven wise, maybe not like actor wise, but they're very important to what's going on, which is it's really cool. I like to see that.
Yeah, it was a great episode. And I mean, even like when they find that newspaper clipping in their son's jacket,
Hmm.
and they find the dagger that.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, even before that, then you got Ray Palmer has like a piece of tech they have to go find because it like it's knocked off his suit,
Right.
and then that nuke gets, the nuke's gonna go off, and oh man, that the nuclear man firestorm, that's a great scene.
That
That's like
was yeah.
movie grade scene
You
right there when
have
he's
you have like zero point 0.6 seconds to
yeah.
get all of that nuclear blast in. Go.
Oh man, that was like the movie moment for me of the show. It was
Yeah,
like, whoa, that
that's
was
where they
like,
spent all
what
their
the
money.
f? Like this is awesome,
Yeah,
and
they
like they
spent all
really
their
like
money there.
saved the day, which is pretty cool because that would have taken out. God, no, like would they say how long? How many miles did they say that would have messed up everything?
Oh, I forget, but it would
Like
it would have
25 miles.
yeah, it would have messed up Norway pretty big.
Yeah. And so then, I mean, from there, after Firestorm saves everyone, I mean, the show is still just starting, and there's so much action just happened. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
And they realized that because Ray Palmer lost his tech or lost, a piece of his suit, that the future's still effed up.
real bad, and it's even
Yeah,
sooner now because he's
right,
got some
right.
future tech.
And I mean, because now this tech is in Vandal Savage's hands, and I mean, he has like these scientists, and everyone's kind of like it's a big downer now because Ray Palmer, he messed up basically when he was
Yeah,
fighting. And then then this is where they get all 70s, dressed, and they go meet Martin Stein's younger self to get a certain tracker to track um,
the alpha
uh,
particles.
yeah, the particles inside the suit that was the piece of the suit that came off, which is pretty good. So they meet his younger self, and then Hawkman and Hawkgirl, they're still trying to. It's so weird. Like, I mean, she's really stubborn.
Yeah,
Shiara, trying to, she's trying to know who she is, and doesn't know if she's really in love with Carter. Still, it's good stuff. I think. I mean, as obviously it's not dragged out too long. It's only been 2 episodes, and we've seen it like in 2 episodes of The Flash,
yeah,
2 or 3. So I mean, I don't know why, but it seems like it's a little bit back and forth, even though it's been 2 episodes. But it's like, come on, Shiara, like seriously, how long does it take?
yeah, exactly. Like, come on, come on.
I mean, how much have you seen and experienced in Vandal Savage and going through time, and you're still not gonna like let your feelings feel for Carter, after all this?
Yeah, it
But
finally
then,
takes
I
the
mean,
flashbacks and what happens at the end of the episode
yeah, I
to
mean,
go
she
shit.
really, she finally, figures out like, this is who I am,
Yeah,
and I have to be this, I have to accept this person that I am, you know, even if she saw her son and he died in the first episode, and like there's just so much stuff. It's so much past and history for her to try and accept. I understand it's Abby for a character. It's hard. There's too much going on, especially with everything else that's going on for that character. But it's good. It's a lot of fun to see her kind of struggle with that.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about the team up with uh, Heat Wave, Captain Cold, and oh god, I was gonna say Hank Pym. What's his face? The Atom there.
The Ray Palmer.
Ray Palmer. Yeah.
That was pretty funny. When they try to break into a place and
Like he has no idea how to
Yeah.
how to break into stuff.
I was like,
'cause he's
oh,
not that guy.
I know one of these. My parents had one of these systems.
Yeah.
That was a dummy box, you idiot.
I like how they're separating the group and teaming up the group in different like scenarios.
Yeah.
Like you had last episode, you had White Canary with the two bad guys,
Yeah.
and then now you have Palmer with the two bad guys, and then Captain Cold's trying to break into. He's like, "Oh, let's, how are we gonna open this glass?" He says, and he's like, he just smashes everything, and then they get locked in there, and
Yeah.
and then Ray Palmer he has to show him. He's like, I know some stuff too, man. He's like, you're a good engineer and you can like do stuff, with yourself if you wanted, but you just don't. You just want to steal crap.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought that was pretty cool. So like they're teaching each other, which is it's good.
Well, and they're getting to know each other too a little, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, they're
nice.
understanding who they are personally, and I mean they're kind of stuck with each other through time, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think Rip said it best in the first episode. It was when he left Heat Wave, Captain Cold, and what's her name? Damn it! No,
White Canary?
Yeah, Black Canary, Sarah Lance.
Right.
When they left them on the ship, he would have said something along the lines of, "Well, we don't need your skills right now, so you're gonna stay here." So that's
he tells that to Jackson, doesn't he?
Well, he tells that to all four of them, really. Like, it was kind of we don't need what skills you have, so you're just going to stay here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Rip Hunter tells him that, and then they all go get a drink, but they leave Jackson because he's like, "This isn't for you." It's like, this is for the big kids because Jackson's only like 20 or whatever.
Yeah. So that was I liked how he kind of that's why he's splitting up the group, and that's why he picked who he picked and all that jazz. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah, and then we get the scene with the flashback of the dagger back in the old Egyptian times with Carter Hall and Shiara again, and you realize that like that dagger is the only thing that can hurt or kill Vandal Savage.
Yeah.
And like she just finally found the vision, and Shiara's like finally accepting what's going on with her and Carter. All the while White Canary stole the tech back, and I mean they used the machine that they ended up knocking out the younger Martin Stein to get that piece of tech to find the other piece of tech.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got Vandal Savage here.
And then the house they broke into was Vandal Savage's.
Right. He has all the artifacts.
So he's got all the artifacts, and that's they catch him, and that's
it's like that big mansion or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where that epic fight happens.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, and then but also with the Martin Stein and the time travel stuff. Time travel is my thing. I love this. So
I love time travel too.
He's like meeting his younger self, and he can't bring himself to say that he knows who he is.
Right.
Like the whole episode, because he doesn't want to like change anything. But like does he like lose his wife? Because his ring disappeared.
Well, what happened
he had to
was
knock him out.
Yeah, because so when they're getting back to the ship with the gadget, and once they've found the Atom's tech, they get back to the ship, and he realizes that his his ring is disappearing.
Yeah, because his younger self didn't go to
Didn't go to the
that like
party. So and
yeah, that
he's
party
right
where he meets
behind him.
his wife. Yeah.
He shows up on the ship,
Yep.
and they gotta persuade him to get the fuck out.
Yeah, it's like you have to go. Like it's a matter of like, not life and death, but like your life. It depends on you. Like you cannot be here. You're seen too much kind of thing.
Exactly. Oh,
But that's the thing. They never really go get into that anymore. I mean, is he wifeless?
no. So at the end of the episode, Rip goes up to Martin and says, I got something to show you. Come here. And they go to the mixer, and Rip persuaded young Martin Stein to go to the mixer in the end. So
Oh, did he? I don't
yeah.
remember that part.
Yeah, it was like right at the end of the episode.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, all that timeline is back to normal. So he's
Oh God, yeah, I must have missed something at the very end there because like, yeah, I'm kind of flipping through the episode here on silent while we're watching it. So like, he gets right into this fight. Hawkman and Hawkgirl get there, and then you got like a whole team is just there,
yeah.
the whole team, and Firestorm's connected with Martin Stein, and then you got the what's his name. Captain Cold has the dagger and gives it to Carter Hall so they can try and take out
Vandal Savage.
Vandal Savage.
Yeah.
And then this just like swirling, like kind of like the Avengers thing, like this swirling circle view of like everybody fighting outside the mansion.
And you're just going from one hero to the next, to the next, to the next. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's like you have the Atom flying around and blasting bad guys, and fire shooting from Heat Wave, and Captain Cold's cold gun blasting ice. It's just, it was like, oh my God, this is awesome.
It was a little bit of hero overload at that point.
Yeah,
like,
it was great.
What's going on?
Well, then we find out that the dagger. I mean, he Carter Hall goes and stabs Vandal Savage. You're like, oh my God, he actually stabbed him.
Oh my God, this can't be it.
Yeah, and then he pulls the blade out like he's like doesn't feel pain and stabs Carter Hall, and you're like, what the hell? And he's like, why isn't he dead? And this is when you find out that the dagger can only be used to kill Vandal by Shiara's hands.
Yeah,
because she's the one that loves him, and it's just like, oh my God, what a waste of time and of a hero, because now he's dead. That was a pretty big shock. I was not expecting Carter Hall to die, especially in the second episode.
Well, okay, so is he really dead?
Well, this is what, when I was talking to Jared from the Joe Schmo Comic Show podcast, and he was like, I'm so pissed off that they killed Carter Hall.
Okay, so here's my take. Okay, he's dead. He's dead. But
oh yeah, I think so too.
He's got to be reincarnated somewhere.
Well, that's the thing,
right?
Let's get into it. Let's finish the episode real quick. So
okay, and then
we'll get into that real quick. So then after that, Shiara tries to stop him. She gets stabbed. Then they blast Vandal Savage out basically for the count, and his goons show up, and they all escape on the ship basically.
Right.
So Shiara's freaking out because her husband, not husband, quote unquote,
lover
just got killed.
And
she's freaking out, and she needs to be healed and everything. So Rip Hunter sedates her, and then he goes into his speech, and I guess that's where he tells Martin Stein that everything's cool.
Yeah.
And we got the tech and this and that. And you know what? I'm looking at the spot right now. Yeah, he meets the girl, and his timeline's okay, which is good. Okay, good.
And then he basically asks, "Is everybody sticking around, or am I taking you guys home?"
Right. He gives him that one more chance. And they're like, you know what? We need to stop this asshole Vandal Savage.
Yeah, it's like
kind of like, it's not even about us anymore.
Yeah.
We have to just stop this dick.
Yeah, we fixed your timeline. Now let's fix mine.
Right. So back to Carter. So
he's dead. Yes, they killed him in the second episode. Fine. Mm-hmm. But due to the fact that they get reincarnated again, right? So sure, he gets reincarnated. He's going to grow up somewhere. So they've got a time machine.
Well, this is what I was thinking.
So they go to a different time, find
Mhm.
him, bring him back, because she's
That
not
that
dead
yeah
yet.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
they're destined to be together anyway.
Exactly. It doesn't matter which one, right?
Exactly.
Or which
So
timeline they're both in.
exactly. So like he's coming back next episode. They're going to find him.
I agree with you. Even if it's not next episode, even if they kind of give her that time, like, oh my God, he's dead and I'll never see him again. And then they kind of like, oh, the next episode after that, we found him.
Yeah.
That would be fine with me. But he's a main character.
I'm gonna call end of next episode, like the last quarter of the episode, they find him.
That may be, yeah. I really couldn't tell you. I don't know if I can, call a time frame, but like,
That's my
I
guess.
honestly think that even okay, did they leave 1975 for sure at the end of that episode, or are they still in 1975 and just traveling to a different spot?
I believe I don't know if they left.
Okay, so if they didn't, I guarantee you there's a Carter Hall at some age in
Yeah.
1975.
Yep.
Because in the last episode they showed him, and you notice how or they showed that picture, like their son had a picture of his parents when he was younger,
Yeah.
and you notice how like it seems like when they get reincarnated, they're also reincarnated, ethnically, because they were like a lot more like African American
Right.
in that picture that their son showed, and then obviously they're a lot more Egyptian in the flashbacks,
Sure.
and then in here they're like mixed still, but they're like more obviously American and whatnot, and
Right.
not as they're just different, and that's I mean that's fine. It's a very interesting how they're doing that. It's not just like, oh, there's a white guy and and a mixed or black girl. It's they're back and they're exactly the same. Like they're always like a different color or a different ethnicity that that they have the same face, which is
Yeah,
it's kind
yeah.
of cool, and I like that. And I think that even if they're in 1975, I think they're gonna have to find a time, because they don't just reincarnate, boom, they're adult. They
No, yeah,
grow up.
they gotta grow up and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
so
Right,
in
exactly.
1975, is there a Carter Hall grown already to that same age, or is he a child, or has he, recently died and hasn't been reincarnated yet?
Oh,
Is it
exactly.
like instant reincarnation, like you're dead, boom, you get born into a new baby, or you know what I mean? We still need to figure out how that reincarnation works. So I think that if they did go into a different time or into the next time, I think that you're probably right. They're going to find a grown Carter Hall in that time, but will it conflict? Will he have already met a Shiara in that time, and this is the second one he's meeting, or will he have never met her yet? But know she's out there, and he thinks this is the one, but it's really a different one, and there's still one out there. Or does he meet this time traveling Shiara and think this is my destined version of my wife? You know what I mean? So there's so many different ways I think that he can perceive who she is and what their destiny is if they meet. But will they just steal him from a different time? Will they do that? Will that
I
be
don't
right?
know.
I don't know.
It's yeah. It's time travel is so weird.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, I guess it depends with how with which time, because obviously Rip Hunter said they mean nothing to the timeline. So even with the reincarnations, they must mean nothing. But it was pretty significant that he died. Maybe if they pull him from a different time, it wouldn't really affect anything.
Right. It's
I
I'm very excited to see how they do it.
Me too, because he's a main character, and they wouldn't just. I was telling Jared, I'm like, they're not gonna just end his character on episode 2. He is a part of the team and a part of the group. If they said that he was going to be like not returning, that would kind of be a big news item. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that would be out there, be like, whoa, the actor who's playing Hawkman's no longer returning. What?
Yeah.
No, I
No.
mean, not that it would be a big spoiler if they did that beforehand, but now that you're seeing this, you're like, there's got to be a way that he's coming back. I mean, there
Yeah.
has to be.
Yeah. He's back next episode. I'm calling it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I agree with you. Even if it's halfway through,
Yeah.
in the later half of the episode, I honestly think that whatever time they go in, or even if they're in the 70s still, they're yeah, that he's going to join the team again,
Yeah,
or be pulled
absolutely.
from some kind of timeline.
Exactly.
Oh, what a great episode!
Oh, I'm so excited.
I really love this show. All right, so now, what else have you been watching that's not on the sidelines
On
of the
the
superhero
on
shows?
the I've been watching The Expanse.
How do you like that? Because I couldn't get into that.
It's a little slow. I'm probably only 4 or 5 episodes in now, and I still have like 5 or 6 on my PVR, DVR, whatever you want to call it.
Right? They're like they didn't they just finish the season, or is it going to be a
Yeah,
longer
I
season?
think the season's over, but I'm not sure. So I'm about halfway through,
Hmm.
and I mean it's starting to get interesting now because things are actually starting to happen.
Okay.
Now, it's supposedly a lot of people have said it's kind of like Game of Thrones in space,
Huh.
and it took me almost the entire first season of Game of Thrones to actually get into it. Get into it.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there too, because I didn't read the
So
books of that.
I didn't read the books either, but I love Game of Thrones now. Like I was about the 8th or 9th episode, I was like, okay, I'm in. I'm hooked. Like you've got me now. Like that's it happened in I believe the 9th episode. Whatever. I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it. If you haven't
Right?
seen
Yeah.
it,
Yeah. We're this is what we're gonna do with we're gonna since we're recording on Sundays and it'll be up around Mondays, right, Tyler?
that's the plan.
Um, we're gonna be spoiling the hell out of these super shows. That's just
Yeah,
how we're gonna do it. I
that's
mean,
it's the only way to talk about the super shows.
exactly,
It's
and
the only
that's
way
why
to
we're
do it.
doing it on Sunday, and that's why we're releasing it on Monday. So we're not gonna spoil the new Monday's episode, obviously, because we haven't seen it. But we watch the whole week. I mean, if you guys are listening, you're probably like us. You're watching all the super shows. So I mean, if I guess disclaimer or whatever, if you haven't watched them or if you're behind, then pause uh,
Dude,
and
go
watch
watch
and
the
then listen.
episodes,
Yeah,
then listen
listen
to
when you
us.
can,
Yeah, but
because
yeah,
we're gonna spoil these shows. But non-super shows, we'll keep unspoilered because not everybody watches the same TV we do. And so everyone's different with that.
yeah,
But I mean, if
especially
you're
with the
watching the
power of
superhero
Netflix.
shows, you're watching them.
Yeah, with the power of Netflix these days, you could put off watching it and just binge the entire show at once. So,
Right.
yeah, I'm still watching The Expanse. It's getting a little bit more exciting now because a war is actually imminent.
Oh, okay.
So stuff's gonna happen.
Hmm.
I'm also watching Suits. Suits started back up this week.
What season are they on in that? Because I've never
Uh,
watched an episode of Suits.
5.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a lot more.
Yeah, it's they do a split season, so I believe the first 10 episodes ended in like October,
Oh, wow.
so it's been a while.
What? Go ahead. Give me a synopsis of that show. I don't even know what it's about.
So basically, it's a lawyer show, and
Uh huh.
they go through and they do different cases and all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of episode to episode
Hmm.
sort of deal, and it's kind of a procedural show, but
Hmm.
there's a twist.
Okay.
Um, the main actor, and his character's name is Harvey Specter,
Okay.
and he's got an associate named Mike Ross.
Hmm.
Now, he's I believe they cover this in the first episode, so it's not exactly too spoilery.
Okay.
But is he never went to law school. He never passed the bar, and he's a lawyer. He's a practicing lawyer right now, right? So
Uh huh.
it's a little crazy. So we're 5 seasons in, and that's still pretty much the storyline.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, if you have the time, you should watch Suits and just
Oh man,
crush it.
I know there's so many shows. Have you? Well, what else have you watched? Go ahead and list off another couple things you
You
watched.
know what? I think that's all I've watched aside from my cooking shows, right? Like I watch Hell's Kitchen, I watch
Oh, okay.
MasterChef. MasterChef Junior ended this week, so
You watch it with your wife and stuff like that too.
Yeah, I watched that. That's the kind of stuff I watch when I just need to chill and relax. Other than
Hmm.
that, I've been watching a couple movies this week, but
What'd you watch?
I watched Born Supremacy today, just
Oh,
to
okay.
rewatch that. That was fun. What else did I watch? I watched The Big Short yesterday.
Oh, how was that? I heard it
That's
was
a
very good.
great movie. That is a great movie. If you want to know about the mortgage crisis in America and how
Oh, like
things went
2008 and
down,
everything.
yeah, and how things went down, you need to
Hmm.
watch The Big Short because it's
Okay.
very educational
Oh, nice.
and a very well written movie as well.
Yeah, I mean it's up for Oscars and stuff too,
It is up for Best
which is pretty
Picture.
cool. Oh wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, I watched what movie did I watch today? Oh, I watched Drop Dead Fred today.
Nice.
Yeah, my girlfriend really wanted to watch it, so I had it on my 'cause I can put stuff on my thumb drive and then hook it up to my TV and just play stuff through my thumb drive on my TV.
Nice.
So yeah, we hooked that up today and we were watching that. That show's funny, man. I haven't seen that in so long. I can't believe it's like God, 25 years old. Um, but yeah, that's a funny movie. Well, one show that I'm in the middle of right now that just started. It's a brand new show on. I can't remember what channel it's on. I think it's ABC or something like that. Blind Spot with Jamie. What's her name? Jamie something. She was also Sif in Thor. Have you heard of this show at all?
No, I haven't.
It's on NBC and it's fantastic. It's a Jamie Alexander, the chick who, the actress who played Sif in Thor in both Thor movies, and she was
Right.
also
Yep.
appeared in that episode of Agents of Shield.
Right.
Um, just a quick synopsis, if no one's ever heard it before, but it's just this woman wakes up in the middle of Times Square in naked in a duffel bag and she like breaks out of the duffel bag in the middle of Times Square and she is covered head to toe, well maybe not like neck to toe in tattoos, and she has no idea who she is. She has no idea how she got the tattoos. They're like all recently fresh, and she's like, what the hell is going on and who am I? And the FBI comes in and everything, and then like this head FBI person sees like checks out one of her tattoos and then calls this other guy that works for the FBI but like in a different location, and she's like she tells him, we need you to come here, and he's like, why do you have me come to see this woman here? And he's like, because your name is tattooed on her back.
That's crazy.
And it's really good. So it's very mysterious. She's trying to figure out who she is. The guy kind of suspects who she might be, the FBI agent guy who's clearly like an Australian. He's trying his best to do an American accent, but you can totally tell he has an accent that he's hiding, which is still okay because he's actually a pretty good actor. It took me a couple episodes to get really into it, but I just got to the 10th episode, which is the halfway point of this season now. I don't know when it's coming back, but it should be coming back soon for the later half of the season.
Nice.
And the last episode for like I guess the half season finale or whatever, the mid season finale was like the best ending of that mid season because it gave a great little spoiler that I won't spoil, but she's doesn't know who she is, and it's freaking everyone out. And there's a lot of crazy stuff with like the CIA that might know answers, and like the FBI and the CIA kind of go at it in some points. And like the director of this branch, this part of the CIA, like knows a lot of stuff that isn't letting on. But it's very it's a different kind of like sort of cop drama that you don't haven't really seen too much of lately.
Nice.
It reminds me kind of what do you call it? Kind of like remember that show Alias with Jennifer
Oh, I
Garner?
loved Alias.
It kind of reminds me a bit of that with like what if the character didn't know who she was, kind of thing.
All
You know what I
right, all
mean?
right.
And she whoops ass. Like she knows all this stuff. She knows a shit ton of languages. She can kick someone's ass. She like doesn't even know she knows them until she starts spitting out the words, you know?
Nice. All
And
right, all right.
then like she knows how to use all these weapons. And but you know, the team, they kind of put her on the team because there are people after her and trying to figure out, you know, why she has all this stuff too. But this FBI team's kind of trying to keep her safe, as well as let her kind of join in on some of these like missions that they're on to try and figure out more about her. But they don't want to they don't want to give her any weapons and guns, and they're still kind of, you know, sketchy with her. They don't know if they can trust her, and then she's like, I don't know if I can trust you, but you know, I'm on your side at the same time. So it's very very cool. It's very interesting.
Right on, right
Um,
on. I might have to give that a watch then.
it's definitely worth it. It like remember that the show I was talking about last time, Colony. This
Yeah.
too was one of the best pilots I've ever seen of a new TV show, just like Colony was. And I just watched the second episode of Colony today, and that's getting pretty good too. But yeah, there's only 10 episodes of this right now, and they're on a light hiatus. It should be back um, February 29th for the last, like, I think 9 episodes.
Nice.
The back nine, they call them. I
Yeah.
think they're only doing 19 episodes for the first season, but I'm not entirely sure. They might be doing more. But yeah, you have a little bit of time to kind of catch up. Like if you have time this month to catch up on this show, it's definitely worth it. Especially if you're like your wife likes this kind of stuff. Like I think it's a good like sit down watch with another person because you're like, oh my god, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
I might have to give that a shot for sure.
yeah, it's definitely one of my top shows now that I'm trying to keep up on. And I thought that Quantico was going to be like that, but every episode is kind of seeming the same. I don't know if you know about Quantico. Have you watched that or heard about that yet?
No, no, not yet. I haven't watched any of that yet.
It started like the same day or the same week that Blind Spot did, but I like Blind Spot better. And Quantico is about like this new group of agents studying to be in the FBI. They're like in the FBI school or CIA school, yeah, FBI school or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's there's a lot of, you know, this flashback and back to the real world. Like one of the FBI agents has been, you know, they think that she, you know, set off this bomb,
Nice.
and they think one of the they think someone like a traitor or someone was pretending to be a FBI student, but really just wanted to get on the inside to blow up like a part, you know, the United States or whatever. So they think it's this one girl, but we as the audience are trying to be, we're on like on her side, but we still don't know if it was really her or not.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so it's interesting, but it just seems like every episode is almost exactly the same with just different writing. You know what I mean?
Nice.
It's hard for me to to try and catch up, even though I like it. But every episode seems too similar. But even getting to the point where, you know, getting to the end goal of this mid season, because they just stopped too,
Yeah.
and I think they're going to start up the same week Blind Spot does again because they're both kind of running, you know, together.
Okay.
But it's a good show. It's just
Oh,
it can be a chore to watch sometimes for me anyway.
all right. All right.
I know Jared really likes it. He's raving about Quantico. He's digging that show.
Right on.
All right, so I think that's pretty good on what else we're watching. Um, what else we got here? So let's go into some news. Have you heard any other news right now for some of the TV shows, the super shows we've been watching?
No, I haven't. The only thing I've heard is the Supergirl Bizarro thing, and I'm trying. That's all I've heard about it. I'm trying to stay away from everything else.
Yeah, I've heard about it, but they're not really talking too much. They're only showing like promo stuff, and I don't want to get sucked into, you know, promo things. I saw, I think, one thing, and it was like her fighting this Bizarro version. It was like a picture of them like clashing, but I'm like, I don't want to see it. I want to wait. I want to watch it. You know,
Yeah,
when it's on
I
TV.
want to see it in the episode for sure. That's
Right.
absolutely yeah.
Well, I have a whole bunch of, you know, real quick news to rapid fire here.
All right, do
You
it.
hear about the Riverdale? You've talked about the Riverdale show on the Rabble Realms podcast, right?
Yeah, I think so.
The Archie show on
Yeah,
CW they're doing. Okay, so Greg Berlanti, the guy who's kind of like running all this CW superhero comic book TV shows, this will be his fourth comic based show on CW, and I think that's pretty cool. I mean, he's doing
that's
Arrow.
yeah,
He's like the showrunner. He's doing Arrow, Flash, Legend Tomorrow, and now he's gonna do Riverdale. And I
that's
think
crazy.
that's pretty cool. So it was just ordered a pilot. So it's
Nice.
it's not officially on the air, but it has been ordered a pilot, which is pretty cool. And that should happen, I think, later on in 2016 here, probably the later half. Uh, I think maybe it'll probably premiere Octoberish, maybe
Nice.
if they're unless they're gonna do like a summer series on
Sure.
CW.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, the other thing is apparently on Arrow, um, the what's his name? Roy Harper is going to come back,
Really,
and
really.
yeah, they said that it's got this. They said Roy Harper returns, and Nissa is going to appear again too. So a White Canary's, I guess, ex-lover who was on the League of Assassins, she'll show up,
Yeah.
and they're going to face off against, I think, the Calculator. They said, which is pretty cool. That's a cool villain we haven't seen yet. Um,
Cool.
Crappy name, but he's always been kind of a C level, D level villain in the comics. But
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to make him kind of cool for CW, and also they're going to do, I guess, a new helmet I guess reconfiguring or some kind of new helmet design for Diggle because I guess a bunch of people still hated it.
Sweet.
So they're going to work on that. And then on Flash, they're talking about how or Robbie Amell has been kind of saying that Deathstorm and the Killer Frost, like the Earth 2 versions of Frost and Firestorm, or the other Firestorm before he died and came back. I guess they're supposed to be kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde type. That's what he refers them as anyway. Because I guess they're like in the comics they were like polar opposites, uh, but they were like lovers. So like Killer Frost was like in love with um, Robbie Raymond or whatever his name is, and I think it's um, isn't it Raymond? It's something
Oh,
Raymond.
I'm trying to remember. I can't remember right now.
But yeah, anyway, so they're in the comics. They were like they were together and they were lovers, and then when she became Killer Frost, they were like separated because she was a villain and he was a good guy. Um, but the only way that she could survive was to like absorb his heat. So she always tried to get him back because like she would die without like absorbing some kind of heat to produce her cold or whatever. That's just kind of how the character was. I'm not sure how they're going to do it in the show, but that's just the comics. Um, but I mean, in Earth 2, he's a bad guy too. So we got Deathstorm instead of Firestorm, and then the evil, Killer Frost in Earth 2, which is pretty cool. So that'll be fun to see more Earth 2 stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, I'm excited to see where they go because, and also, did you hear about Robbie
I heard about
giving?
the Legends of Tomorrow with the Arrow showing up.
Well, no, well, not just that, but did you hear that he said in Air or in Flash, or was it wait, was it Flash or anyway, he said that like a major character is gonna die
Oh.
in Flash, and I think that well, he said that he's gonna kill a major character as Deathstorm, but he's like he didn't allude to the fact that is it a Earth One, like a main character Earth One,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
he's like it could be a main character playing a Earth Two character. You know what I
Oh,
mean? So he's
interesting.
like, we don't know who it is, but someone's dying.
Yeah,
So
that's
I thought
crazy.
that was pretty cool. But like he was able to spoil it, but not spoil it at the same time.
Oh,
That was
wild.
it was pretty interesting.
That would be cool.
Yeah, so someone's getting whacked pretty soon here. Um, Everything else we got here is you hear about all the superhero trailers that'll be happening on the Super Bowl or all these
Yeah,
other movie
I'm
trailers and stuff.
unfortunately I probably won't be able to see any of those trailers because I'm stuck in Canada and we get our own ads during the Super Bowl, so that
Oh,
blows.
really? I
Yeah,
didn't know
so
that.
I will have to be looking them up the next day online.
Oh,
But
wow, that's kind of a bummer.
yeah,
Well, look out for these. I'm gonna spit them off real quick.
Nice, do
Apparently,
it.
there's gonna be a Deadpool spot, Independence Day Resurgence, X-Men Apocalypse, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, a Bourne 5 trailer with Matt Damon returning as Jason
Nice,
Bourne,
nice.
Civil War, the new Pixar Disney Zootopia, which looks really good. The Jungle Book, Disney's The Jungle Book, Batman v Superman, and that's it. I think that's it.
Right on.
I can't remember what else. Oh, you know what? I think that's the one that they're not doing. It says that Warner Brothers hasn't purchased a spot yet for the Super Bowl for BVS. So it might not happen. I think they're going to kind of stay away from. I don't know why, but maybe they're just like maybe the Super Bowl is kind of booked up, and Warner Brothers doesn't want to spend the money. I don't know why they wouldn't. Maybe it's a surprise, or that they're just trying to sneak in the Super Bowl. Um, but apparently there's like a Super Bowl Doritos ad that they I
Yeah,
don't know,
the
it
fans the
might be
fans are
linked to.
gonna. That I'm Doritos. I love Doritos.
Yeah, me too.
Their ads.
I haven't
Oh
had them
my
in a while,
god.
but yeah, they're always pretty good. I don't know, but yeah, that was the one thing they're like, it might not be on the Super Bowl, the Batman versus Superman, which is kind of a dumb idea. I think it's too big to not. I mean, especially if like they're trying to go up against Marvel, if they
Yeah.
if they care enough to do that. Because I mean, you already have two Fox Marvel properties, and then you have a then you have your actual actual Marvel property with Captain America, and it's
Right.
like, and then it's like here's Disney again, and here's Disney again. So it's like
Disney, Disney,
it's
Disney,
all
Disney.
Fox, Universal, and Disney, and then Warner Brothers isn't going to bother to do their one thing they could do on the
Yes.
Super Bowl. It just doesn't make any sense. It's the one Warner Brothers, other than I think Bourne, which is a Warner Brothers property too. But I don't know. It just seems silly to me to
Yeah.
to not show that to a billion people watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Um, Apparently there's going to be an Hour Man, or there was an Hour Man tease in Legend of Tomorrow. Um, I guess it was something on Rip Hunter's desk or something like that.
Oh, I
I'm not
guess I
sure
missed
if it
that.
was if that will happen this week or it was last week, but that's pretty cool. Um, and then Gotham. Okay, do you remember? We talked about this the last episode of Gotham. But do you remember Barbara? She went into a coma. Did that happen? Did we not talk about that, or did you not? I don't even
Uh,
remember that.
I don't know if we talked about it, but yeah, it did happen.
Okay, so they're saying that Barbara might not be Barbara who that she's been after the coma. Like she might be recovered, kind of thing.
Oh,
Apparently,
interesting.
the actress Erin Richards, she's like, it's going to be a totally different Barbara after I wake up from this coma. So she's waking up for one, and apparently she's going to be really different. So I'm interested to see, if she, like it says here, she might not be, she might be pretending. Has she really changed, or
Yeah.
is she just, because she's been known to kind of be very deceiving,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
and obviously very insane. So I like her character now because she was pretty damn terrible the first season,
Yeah, it was a
and
little I don't know what was going on there. There was a lot wrong with that show in the first season, I think.
yeah, I think that they didn't give her enough to do. They didn't write her very
Yeah.
well, and she was kind of like that damsel in distress, and like I'm always mad at Jim because he's not here to be
Yeah,
with me,
yeah.
kind of
Yep.
character. But then once they made her crazy, she became immensely interesting, and I really like her character, who she is, and how they're writing her right now, than how she was before. And I think it's interesting to kind of put her in this position of going back to nice Barbara,
Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah, yeah.
because she could potentially come out and be like, screw you, surprise, motherfucker, I've been bad the whole time, kind of thing. So
Yeah,
that'll
that'd
be
be
fun to
great.
see. I'm excited for Gotham to come back. I mean, when does it? It comes back the 29th. So it just seems like so far away. It's been off the air for so long.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, it's even no, it's 2 weeks after The Walking Dead, and it seems like it was off the air around the same time.
Yeah, pretty
Uh,
much.
Yeah, it's a lot of time to wait. It seems like for some of these shows to come back, like
Yeah.
late February after, I mean, before Christmas. That's just like that's a little bit too long. Like, I mean, we couldn't even remember barely remember, what happened in the last episode when we talked last episode, or it was just it's we gotta start calling it Last Channel. Uh, then what else we got here? Yeah, Arrow Diggle's helmet upgrade. We talked about that. Oh, did you hear about the Iron Fist news that
uh,
Mike Coulter spilled?
yeah, I heard it briefly. I didn't really read too much into it, but I did hear about it.
So apparently someone asked him about, what's going on with Iron Fist, you're going to team up kind of thing, and he goes, "The actor's been cast for Iron Fist." I don't know if he's telling the truth, but that's what he said. He's like, he's been cast, and he jokes saying like he's in a basement somewhere,
Yeah.
and he's like, when the time right, they'll let him out and let him, and we'll see who he is. And then he talks about how he's excited, and it'll be nice to kind of break from the Jessica Jones and Luke Cage thing. And he's like, I don't know if I'm going to be on his show, but he's like, we will be together in the Defenders. So,
Ooh.
I mean, I don't know if he's, telling the truth or he's just kind of like, teasing everyone or
Yeah.
whatever. But I don't know who it could be. I mean, I would be extremely happy with it just being in a totally unknown, or even if it is an Asian character, or or even a white character, whatever.
Right.
It
Right.
doesn't matter to me as long as they write the character well. Um, I'm interested to see who he is, but uh,
Sweet.
yeah, I think Danny Rand's an important character with all these guys, especially with Luke Cage. It'll be cool to see them kind of all interact together. A couple more things. We got Jada Pinkett Smith is returning as Fish Mooney.
I could care less.
Honestly, I liked her character. She did become kind of annoying at the end, and I like how she went
Yeah.
out. But I think she brings a cool dynamic to the show where I thought we were kind of missing it in the beginning of the second season,
Yeah.
in the
I'll
way that she's kind of like everyone's enemy. You know what I mean?
right. I'll wait and
So
see
like,
how they do it, but I'm not really that interested right now, to be totally
yeah,
honest. So
I think it's kind of cool because she was like, "Oh, I'm done with the show, never coming back." And then it was just like, "Oh, well, here she is, she's back." I don't know if it's
yeah.
that's how they planned it, or she's like, "Oh, I need work, write me back in," or but I don't know. I like to see her be everyone's enemy,
Right.
and now that Penguin is kind of grown out of under her shadow, and um and everybody hates her, and no one's really attached to her anymore. I'd like to see how she can, work on her own if that's what they're going to do with her, which is pretty cool. But um, and see, I don't know if the first half of this second season felt like it was missing something or missing her, because I sure wasn't. Um, but there's a lot of stuff they can do with this show. I mean, we already had Mr. Freeze coming.
Right.
Um, and I heard that's going to be like the saddest villain on TV. That's they're
No.
talking about how it's gonna be pretty damn feel oriented with his character. Obviously, if they're keeping with that same origin that they created in the animated series, but that'll be fun to see what's going to happen with that. Um, did you hear about? I guess this was a couple weeks ago, but the rated R animated movie they're doing for Batman: The Killing Joke.
I have heard about that. Yeah. I'm excited for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I'm really excited that. And then also with the animated stuff, the new Justice League. It's called Justice League Action, the new cartoon they're doing. You hear about that?
I haven't, no.
Yeah, they have a little picture here. The animation looks pretty good. It looks very. They look young, like the way they draw them. They look young. But the coolest thing, they got Kevin Conroy to come back as Batman and Mark Hamill back as the Joker.
Awesome.
So I mean, it's gonna pull in viewers.
Oh, for sure.
And apparently it's
That's
happening
huge.
very soon. Like everyone thought it was gonna be, uh, you know, uh, everyone thought it was gonna be farther away, but apparently this show is coming up pretty quick. which is awesome because I'm really interested to see. I like the animation that they have on the little picture. They had the promo art.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. But they also said, which is very interesting, that it's going to be short episodes like the Teen Titans Go. So
Yeah.
they'll be like 11-minute episodes, um,
Okay.
which is interesting. So it's kind of like little serials,
Nice.
like back in the '60s, and kind of how they're bringing back with Teen Titans Go and a couple other TV shows
I
on
like it.
Cartoon Networks. Yeah, we have that to look forward to, which is pretty good. I think that's about it for news.
Right on.
So, what anything else we got? We got the let's talk about our picks,
Let's
our
talk
pixel
about
picks
our
of the
picks
week.
quick, and then we'll wrap her up.
Yeah, we're almost done here. So, why don't you go ahead and what do you have for the best fight?
I think the best fight for me this week was Supergirl and the Martians.
Oh, really? You think so? Okay,
That
that's pretty cool.
for me, like it. I know it was the close second was the Legends of Tomorrow fight at the end of the episode, but
That was
there
mine.
there was a lot going on in that one, and I feel just because there was only
So
three of
many.
them
Hmm
in the Supergirl, like with the Martian Manhunter
You're,
and Supergirl teaming up to win, basically, right? I found that was to me it was a better fight.
right. Yeah, it was really good. I had that episode in one of my categories here. Yeah, I had the last half of Legends of Tomorrow was my best fight. Just the whole team, utilizing their powers together
Yeah,
and like actually as a really good, well-formed team in the second episode.
and
Like
that's
I mean, because they already knew each other prior.
yeah,
So them working together kind of felt just very organic in that episode, and I thought it was the best fight for me. That was really cool.
nice.
My most heroic character this week has to be Supergirl, just for that ending of her episode, telling John Jones to not kill the White Martian, even though
Yeah,
he has destroyed, everybody. She because Supergirl really connects with him on that level, just like Superman does, how their race is basically destroyed.
right.
Just very heroic to not be what he is and not be the evil
Yeah,
white Martian bad guy. The way that if he took him out, I really enjoyed that. Very heroic of her to kind of get in there and
nice.
stop him from murdering the white Martian.
Yeah, I'm
How about
going.
yours?
I'm going. Diggle's brother
Oh, that was good. That's a
from
good pick.
Arrow. That's going a little bit lower key on this one,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the fact that he stepped up and put everything aside and just helped save the day, basically. That's
Yeah, it was a very good surprise for him to come out like that
yeah,
because he was so angry in the beginning of that episode and the
yeah,
last episode.
yeah.
My most badass villain was the White Martian for me.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna pick the White Martian, and then I watched Arrow and just saw like the guy, uh, the lieutenant who was on in Arrow that on the
Mhm.
that leading that bad squad.
Yeah,
He was just like the White Martian was pretty fucking badass. Don't get me wrong, but just
yeah.
the heartlessness of this guy was just. I'm just gonna shoot a guy every 20 minutes. I don't fucking
Oh, and
care.
then that's also that other thing, that other spoiler. What about the what's her name? Amanda Waller's death. Like,
Right?
what the
That
hell?
that was I that shocked me huge.
That was, I mean, I knew they said that someone big was gonna die, but I'm like, she was the one that died? Like, holy crap, that was very unexpected.
Very unexpected.
Um, but yeah, he was pretty bad. But I don't know, I love the White Martian thing
Yeah,
and the
I
tricking everyone with being the girl and
yeah, being that
infiltrating
senator, yeah, for sure.
the, the
The
the base.
DEO,
That was
yeah,
really cool.
very cool.
What was your coolest use of powers and abilities?
I'm going with that fight sequence in Legends of Tomorrow. How everybody used all their abilities together,
Right.
right?
Okay.
Like that's
Okay.
that's where I'm going. All the
I'm going single character with mine.
okay, okay,
uh, when Jefferson absorbs that nuke,
yeah,
that is
that
probably the
was
coolest
pretty
use of
awesome.
powers for me. That was just so badass. Just saved everyone's ass and Denmark, and I
Yeah,
thought that
yeah,
was pretty cool.
yeah, very cool.
My overall show was Legends. How was it? What was yours?
I'm sticking with Arrow.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good. That's good. I like the differences that we have going
yeah.
on here.
I'm sticking with Arrow for that one.
Um, how about your Easter eggs? What was your the best Easter egg you had?
In Arrow, the Oracle mention,
Right. That was mine too.
that's my favorite Easter egg. Like to throw to Batman.
Hmm.
Oh, so
Well, yeah. I
good.
mean, yeah. Just to say, like, yeah, she's out there. Like, what?
Yeah, just and you just like okay, you're in the same universe. Like you just basically confirmed that Batman
Mhm.
is there,
Yeah,
right? Like
I really like the cord industry. Like we talked about this earlier, like
yeah,
over text, but like the cord industries is mentioned when they're on the rooftop and they see the tank, the big rigs with cord industries, the Blue Beetle reference. I thought that
yeah.
was pretty cool. Um, yeah, I that would be really interesting to see a Blue Beetle, sort of a space character, kind of come into the shows, kind of like how they did in uh, what was the in Smallville toward the end of the season. I
Oh
thought that
yeah,
was pretty cool.
yeah.
So those are our Pixel picks of the weeks, guys. We're gonna keep trying to do this as we go along. We didn't have any like cliffhanger or crazy endings this week,
No, there
but
wasn't
I
anything.
mean, we none of these may happen as the weeks go on, especially if shows are off the air and stuff. But we're gonna try and stick to this list as we go. Um, that's pretty much the show, guys. So if you have any questions or concerns, you can always find us on social media. And Tyler, why don't you go hit us up with
Yeah.
all that info real
So
quick?
you can go to us on Facebook.com/Super Boob Tube Dudes. We're on Twitter at SBoobTubeDudes. And then you can find we have our website, superboobtubedudes.com, which you can just click on the Facebook or Twitter logos and it'll take you right to our pages,
Oh, that's
which
cool.
is really simple. And then we also have a contact form, so superboobtubedudes/contact, and you can fill out that form and send us an email. If that's too easy for you, you can always go into your email and go podcast@superboobtubedudes.com and send us an email that way.
Nice. Oh, that was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and keep watching the keep boobing the tubes. I guess we could say. Watch them super shows, and we'll give you some more info, spoilers, and news and reviews as we head on through the weeks. Okay, so keep tubing.
Thank you for listening to another Rabble Press podcast. Please contact us through our website, rabblepress.com/contact. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow your favorite podcasts on Twitter.